Welcome, Bills Mafia. It's Tuesday. It's Bills game day. Most of you are at work. I am not. I have the day off. It's really crappy outside, so I wanted to jump into the film room, show you something I saw on film when watching the Tennessee Titans offense this year. Last week, or actually week 3, is when they played the Minnesota Vikings, and the defense of the Minnesota Vikings and Mike Zimmer run a very similar structure to what the Bills do, so it'll give you an idea when you watch that film what you might see from the Titans on offense in the run and passing game. And one thing that came up was how often they ran toss plays, pitch plays out wide to get Derrick Henry along the perimeter to get him going. Everyone talks about stopping and disrupting Derrick Henry before he gets going, hitting him behind the line. Well, that's very difficult to do when they run as much outside zone and toss plays like they do. And it's something that they ran a lot of last year, too. I went back and looked, courtesy of Sports Info Solutions, at how often they ran pitch or toss plays last year. And as you can see, I have it sorted by attempt. He was ranked number 3 in attempts on pitch or toss plays. 38, he averaged 6.1 yards per attempt, 4.2 yards after contact per attempt. And you got to think about it this way. You're getting Derrick Henry going. You're getting him the ball quickly, letting him make his reads, and he's getting up to full speed. And then you're also having the defenders scrape down the line of scrimmage, try to come downhill, and fast load to the ball to get to the perimeter, and then make a tackle on a big running back like him. And it's very difficult. And so that's why they try to run it as much as they do. It's very similar to how they run outside zone, and we'll look at it at the film, but it's very similar blocking. It's just getting him the ball quickly and getting him on the perimeter. All right, you're going to see the Titans run this play, this toss play, with a fullback in the backfield, an H-back. They'll run it out of 12 personnel with no fullback or lead back. Here you're going to see them trade. You're going to put the tight end to the right side of the screen, and you see the Vikings go ahead and change their defensive front. They move the D tackles and bump them down. They'll even bump the middle linebackers. So the point of this play is to try to get the ball to the perimeter. Where Derrick Henry takes the ball, it all depends on the edge. It all depends on the defensive end or force player on the defense. So as you can see, I highlighted the defensive end and then also the linebacker to that side. Based on where that defensive end is aligning, you see him here basically in a 6'eye", just over the tight end here. Based on where he aligns is where the ball is going to go. So because the defensive end is kind of bumped inside here, that's giving Derrick Henry an easy read on this play. He's going to be taking this outside. You can see the right tackle, number 71, does a good job of reaching him, sealing that side. And then the tight end just climbs to the linebacker. And now you have Derrick Henry, again, full speed on the perimeter. And now you have a safety having to come from depth because they were in a too high look to make the tackle in the alleyway. Well, guess what? Derrick Henry's at full speed, but he can still make moves. He makes Harrison Smith miss, and he's got a chunk play on an early down. Flashback to 2019 versus the Colts. And the Colts are a defense that have a very similar structure to what the Bills run. And in both of those games, the Titans ran toss plays a bunch. Here's another one. You can see the defensive end is head up over the tight end. So pre-snap, this is a pretty easy read because the defender outside of the tight end is off the ball. So this pre-snap read is telling Derrick Henry he's going to be taken outside. On the snap, the center is going to try and work to Darius Leonard, the backside linebacker on this play. And that's important because he's the guy that's fast flowing and has to really work through traffic to be the chase and pursue linebacker here. So as I progress on the play, you see the tight end and right tackle do a good job on their combo block at the point of attack, seal that edge defender inside. You see the tight end then climb to the second level. And now you have the lead back leading up on this defender right here out in space, which is a win-win for the offense. He does a good job of getting out in front. Here comes Leonard working through traffic, but because he had to work so hard to get through traffic, he can only make this tackle as an arm tackle. He's not able to get everything behind it, and Derrick Henry easily breaks that tackle right there and is off to the races on a big run. Again, the edge defenders, the defensive ends on the line of scrimmage are key to these pitch plays, to these toss plays outside. They need to set the edge really well and not get sealed like that. They cannot let the tight end and right tackle work those combo blocks to the second level to seal off that alley, because if you can see, if that alley is sealed really well by the tight end and right tackle, they will have numbers and they'll have an alley. And I don't care who you are, if you're coming as a linebacker from the backside in pursuit, or if as a safety coming from depth up top, trying to fill the alley like you saw in the last play, it's going to be a tough task to bring down Derrick Henry when he's at full speed along the perimeter. Here's another pitch play versus the Colts last year. This was earlier in the season. The defensive end is more on a tilt here. He's a little further outside, but what the Colts are doing here is running a gap exchange. So you're going to see that defensive end spike inside into the B gap so that it would disrupt that zone blocking. Again, while it is a pitch or toss outside, the zone blocking is still in effect. It's the same blocking as outside zone. It's just different because it puts the ball in the hands of Derrick Henry quicker. So they're going to execute a gap exchange. That defensive end is going to spike into the B gap, and that is hopefully going to disrupt the blocking to allow Darius Leonard, who is right here, to fast flow over the top of this play. So on the snap, what you're going to see is the right guard use a bang block on the defensive tackle, that shade nose tackle, and then he's going to climb to the second level. The right tackle run his zone footwork to his right, and he'll adjust as that defensive end spikes inside. He'll just let him roll inside, and that tight end isn't going to have to do any type of combo block here. He is just going to sidestep and climb to the second level to seal off Darius Leonard. Now, the defender on the edge there, he's a contained player, so his job is just to get outside and keep that ball inside. He does that, and of course, he does make the tackle, bounces off of that, ricochets off that block by the lead back, and he and Darius Leonard make the tackle, but look at how far downfield they're making that tackle. The Titans get leverage at the point of attack. They take advantage of a gap exchange between Darius Leonard and the defensive end here, and they just get a good gain on an early down by getting Derrick Henry the ball early, getting him downhill at full speed and upfield on a good gain. Same game against the Colts. Here comes the tight end across the formation. Now look at that defensive end. He's outside the tight end there, right? So that read for Derrick Henry is pretty easy. That pre-snap read of bouncing it outside is a no-go here. So let's work from right to left on the offensive line. The right tackle is going to scoop to the second level to Darius Leonard. The right guard is going to wall off the defensive tackle to his right. The center and backside guard, the left guard, are going to work a combination block to the backside linebacker. And the most difficult block is probably the left tackle on a cutoff block right here as the play is going into the boundary to the right. He's going to have to try to cut off that backside defensive end, and it's a very tough block. So on the snap, of course, Derrick Henry is not bouncing it wide. He is getting inside. So now his read goes from that defensive end to the defensive tackle right here. And you can see that defensive tackle, his helmet, his eyes are fast flowing into the boundary on this pitch play. So what does Derrick Henry do? He just simply cuts it back. And when he cuts it back and gets north and south, again, there's probably a hold right here by that backside left tackle, but it's not called. But you can see now Derrick Henry is getting north and south. His shoulders are square. And now he can pick or choose where he goes from there. That's what he does well. He gets north and south, and then he's in business. But again, he's getting north and south with the ball in his hands already. So he gets square, breaks that tackle, and he gets into the third level. This is the Titans, again, executing that pitch play, but the Colts did a good job of taking away that perimeter, not letting him get outside. Well, guess what? Now he just moves on, just like outside zone runs. He moves on in his reads, in his progression, and he cuts it back off of that block right there and gets north and south for another good gain. Here's another run against the Colts where the defensive end is going to spike inside right here so that the linebackers can fast flow over the top. Specifically this backside linebacker. I want you to watch him. He gets to square up Derrick Henry on this play, and Derrick Henry just spins off of it. I mean, that's the type of running back he is. So again, the Colts tried that gap exchange at the point of attack. He gets contained by this defender right here, so it stays up inside like they want. And you see that linebacker get to square up Henry, but he's able to spin out of that tackle by that defender. Here's a heavy set with the Titans run that pitch to the left side of the screen, but I want you to watch the edge defender that's on the line of scrimmage but in a two-point stance. He's going to spill this run outside. So as the ball is pitched out to Henry, he's spilling that play. What that means is he's not boxing it. He's not trying to keep the play inside. He is not shooting upfield to make Henry cut it back. He is spilling it so that the linebackers can fast flow over the top. As you can see, they're playing the outside half of those offensive linemen. They have leverage to the outside, but Henry gets outside that spill right there, and now he sees a little cutback lane. He's able to cut up right here, but now from the backside, you have Darius Leonard scraping down the line of scrimmage, and he's the one that makes the tackle on Henry. But again, that's a decent gain on this run. As that guy spills the play wide, those linebackers are fast flowing over the top, but here comes Darius Leonard down the line of scrimmage tight. Saffold is not able to get a piece of him. because he goes backdoor instead of working over the top, and he comes down line of scrimmage and makes a tackle on Henry. These are the type of runs that take a toll on a defense. Although these are speed type plays to get along the perimeter, once he gets square and gets downhill, he's still delivering blows. These are still power type runs once he gets downhill, and that will take a toll on the defense. And of course, the Titans will run the traditional crack toss, so they'll have 3 tight ends or 3 receivers or a combination of the two to the right-hand side of the screen. They'll get a down block on the down defensive lineman, the defensive end right there, by number 85, and then they'll pull the right tackle and they'll lead with the tight ends as well and get Henry on the perimeter. And this was another one of those plays that they did a good job of not only getting Henry on the perimeter, but as you can see, he is at full speed, and now he can also use his power right there, the stiff arm defenders, and also power to break the tackles and get up the sideline on a decent gain. Here's a similar play from another look. They're going to bring jet action across the formation and just pitch it out, and you get a down block at the point of attack right here, and then that gets Henry outside. Now, he does fumble on this play, but as you can see, it's a really good play. He gets along the perimeter, gets some blocking there. The linebacker, number 50, works through traffic and is able to strip Derrick Henry on contact. So now you guys are asking yourself, okay, Erik, well, how do you stop it? Again, I mentioned it at the top. It's all about the edge players, those defensive ends, those perimeter players, those force players, as you see Jerry Hughes right here. He alerts to this bunch right here. The defense has a good idea that there's probably a crackback or crack block coming right here, and his awareness on this play is just unreal, and he blows up this play. You can see him as Aguilar comes down to block him, he just swims it, gets over the top, and just blows up the running back in the backfield. As I said at the top, the Vikings faced this play in a variation of ways and personnel groupings, but they faced it 7 different times, and they did an all-right job against it. But when they did make the stop, it was the defensive ends that were making these plays and really blowing this up. Look at the wide stance by the defensive end right there. And on the snap, you're going to see him stack and shed versus that tight end right there. Look at him. Just throw him by. And before Derrick Henry can even get to the line of scrimmage, he's on him. He's got a contained player outside. Number 47 does a good job of containing that play and boxing it inside. But it's the defensive end that stack and sheds to bring down Derrick Henry. Again, the Titans try to pitch it out to the right side right here. But look at these 2 defenders right here. The defensive end and linebacker, they're keen to the play. They box that play in, force him back inside. And here comes Kendricks right here in the hole. I mean, watch what he does on this play. Works over the top of the blocks up front. That running back has to cut it back inside right into Kendricks' gap, and he brings him down. Again, the defensive ends at the point of attack have to be on point. They cannot let Derrick Henry get outside them. They have to box the play in right here to force the cutback, to let him get square and get help from the backside pursuit, such as Eric Kendricks on this play. Here's another flashback to the Colts game. You're going to see Derrick Henry trying to get outside right here. Watch this defensive end. While he does get his shoulders turned, look at him work through that combination block between the tight end and the right tackle right there. Look at him work through that and get upfield and force that cutback. Now with the cutback, you have Darius Leonard, number 53, working over the top, and the frontside defensive tackle, Margus Hunt, work off of his block to bring Henry down. That is good team defense. You get the point of attack stymied by the defensive end, you get the cutback, and you get pursuit from your teammates. The Titans trade and put the tight end to the right side of the screen, but again, watch that defensive end stack the tight end right there and work outside. Keeps that outside arm and shoulder free. That is forcing the cutback. That's a great job. That is muddying the read up for the running back right here, because as the ball snap, you see he isn't a 6 technique. He's head up over that tight end, but he works outside to force a cutback. Now Henry has to cut it back, and that's where all of the pursuit is coming from. Again, point of attack. Here's the defensive end. He is a shade inside of the second tight end right here. There's 2 tight ends to the right side of the screen. On the snap, stacks that first tight end and then works outside. That power right there at the point of attack by Whitney Merciless was just fantastic. Stack, get your head outside, force that cutback, and here comes DJ Reader down the line of scrimmage to make the tackle. That's how you beat the Titans' outside zone runs. That's how you beat the Titans' pitch plays or toss plays outside. You have to be strong at the point of attack. So tonight versus the Titans, Mario Addison, Jerry Hughes, Trent Murphy, AJ Epinesa all have to be strong at the point of attack. They have to force Henry to cut it back up inside. And then again, the Bills have to be better in pursuit, and they got to sure as heck be better at tackling than they have been in past years. And you can tell the Texans were ready for that dogfight. Look at the edge defender, number 57. He is setting the tone on the line of scrimmage. He is not letting that run get outside of him. He stacks and sheds and sets that edge right there. And now everybody is coming down the line of scrimmage. Look at the line of scrimmage. Look at the Texans defenders scraping down the line of scrimmage. That is very good gap integrity down the line of scrimmage as that play is being stretched wide. And when Derrick Henry is forced to make a decision, that's when the guys rally and make the tackle. The Bills are going to be in a dogfight tonight. There's no doubt about it. The Titans are going to try to bully the Bills up front, and it's going to start with this pitch play, this toss play along the perimeter. It's very similar to their outside zone run. The Bills' edge defenders will be the key tonight. They cannot let Derrick Henry get outside, but they can especially not let Derrick Henry get outside and get to full speed. They got to force him to cut back with good edge setting so that the defenders on the backside in pursuit can come and make the tackle.